welcome to episode... Sorry. Hello, and welcome to episode 87. Jeff, I'm dying over here. I'm one of the Nerds at Large Gaming podcast. Jeez. You know what? I'm going to start that over. That was really bad. Okay. Hello, and welcome to episode 87 of the Nerds at Large Gaming podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
I'm Jeff Mayo.
And you're in for an episode of a podcast this week, you guys.
You're in one. Because
Darby's mind is kind of going in 3,000 different places right now.
You're losing your mind in your old age.
I am losing I feel like an old man in a 23-year-old's body. I also don't like that I'm 23. That even sounds old.
I'm 25.
Life is just going away very fastly.
Yep.
Jeff, very, very quickly. Jeff, we have a lot of awesome things to talk about today. Chief among them is that we got a Pokemon Direct.
We did.
And also, the last episode of this podcast featured Bro Trio, which you should go check them out on YouTube. And you can see we had a discussion about Gen 8 Pokemon. There's timestamps in there. If you want to skip straight to that, go look at that and see what we got right. They got some things right, for sure. Because I think, because one of them said England.
Yeah.
Like a very European setting. And that's definitely kind of what we got here. It's definitely what we got here. So, Jeff, let's just let's get started right away.
With the Pokemon?
With Pokemon Direct. So it was about a 7 or 8 minute long Direct.
Yes, which when it was announced for it to be a 7-minute Direct, I did not know exactly what was coming based off that, because they've done Pokemon Directs like to announce games. They had one to announce X and Y. I think it was like 12 minutes long or something like that. Okay. It had a 1 to 2 minute trailer showing off stuff and like showing off the region and the starter Pokemon and stuff, I think. And the rest of it was the legendaries, which like, okay, that's fine. It's showing us the general stuff and then, show more later. And then they also, for Sun and Moon, they had a Direct that was roughly this time, went over like Pokken and the fact that old games were going on to the 3DS as virtual console. Right. And then at the end, they showed the trailer for Sun and Moon, and most of it was kind of going over the history of Pokemon and ending the trailer with concept art and the titles.
So it was a bunch of nothing.
We had no idea what was going on in this, and I was kind of worried people were setting themselves up for disappointment too much. Mm-hmm. My best, I was thinking my best case scenario was going to be like X and Y, was just a trailer showing off some of the region and the starter Pokemon, which is kind of what we got, but they showed more than they normally did because all 7 minutes were focused on Gen 8.
Showing the actual game. Yeah,
Pokemon Sword and Shield.
A tiny little intro thing, and then it was just off to the races.
Yeah,
it was
and like a normal Direct, people talked, but none of it was... Very little of it I would say was fluff. When they were talking, it was them explaining what they were showing.
Yeah, it was
along with footage.
For it being 7 minutes, the amount of information you got through that was a lot.
Yeah,
you got to see the full map, and like some of it in game and some of it just on the actual map.
Yeah. We actually saw the full the map.
Yeah, like the artwork map. Yeah.
And we saw the starters and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think some people might be disappointed when they see as much because some people like to, when the game is revealed, like to see everything and are disappointed when it feels like we don't see anything.
But we're still probably like 8 months, 7 months out or something. Oh,
they said the release date they gave is late 2019, so I'm expecting November. We have plenty of time to...
Yeah, so there's gonna be a lot of stuff shown. I mean, I'm glad that they actually showed the world and not just here's the starters. Bye.
Yeah, they should. They'll consistently show new Pokemon, whether it be in magazines or trailers or whatever. They'll consistently show trailers that show off more of how gyms work, whatever the bad guys are in this game, the rival, I guess the legendaries. We didn't see those, and also
we hope the bad guys are mean. I think is one of the things we're
no. The rival. Okay. The rival was too friendly, and let's go. Like, and Sun and Moon.
Be more aggressive.
Yeah. Well, I need to hear him to say, smell you later.
Oh, Jeff, it's a kid's game.
I know. But also whatever new gimmick mechanic they have for this game, because since X and Y, they've had new little gimmicks like Mega Evolutions in X and Y, and in Sun and Moon, they had the Z moves and the Alolan forms.
Yeah. So before we get into the details of like everything announced, since people have probably seen this, but we're going to go through it on a surface level. How are you feeling? Are you like pleasantly surprised? Do you feel about how you expected to? Are you disappointed? Or where are you right now?
I feel pretty good about this, Darby.
Yeah.
Again, they showed about what I expected. Maybe in more detail what they did. Like they showed my expectations as far as
the game looks how you expected. Is that where you're coming from?
Yeah, kind of like that. And as far as what they showed is about my best case scenario for hoping, showing the map, the region, the character, the starter Pokemon. I guess the only thing that they didn't show that I kind of expected were the legendaries, which, okay, fine, whatever. I can wait on this.
Yeah.
They showed the main thing of that. Yeah, I guess one thing that we will talk about is the graphics. They could be better. They could have done a more significant upgrade. I think for sure they definitely are using the Sun and Moon as a base. I still think people are overblowing how bad it looks, saying, "Oh, it's literally just the Sun and Moon graphics."
It definitely is not just that. It definitely looks better. Like especially go back and look at Sun and Moon. It definitely.
I've seen people could say this this looks worse than the GameCube Pokemon games, like Pokemon Coliseum, and PlayStation 2 games and stuff. Like, have you guys seen those games? I'm not going to say this is a graphical powerhouse. Like they could have done better. I'll agree with that notion, but I think people are overblowing.
That's where I'm going. Obviously, all that's an exaggeration, but I do think the first real mainline like Pokemon game for the Switch on like a way more powerful system than Pokemon's been in a very, very long time.
Well, ever.
I'm even including Pokemon Coliseum and all those other things.
Well, it's more powerful than that, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, but whatever. And I think this is a theme that I wasn't expecting this to turn me into I'm not a Pokemon guy. I wasn't expecting this to do that, but I did think there was a possibility. Like the first one on the Switch, I thought there was a possibility that there was a big enough shakeup and stuff. I mean, where I'll stand through all of this is it didn't do that. I'm definitely not buying this game, which is fine. I don't need to be in Pokemon.
We'll do a Nuzlocke, and you'll get as much enjoyment as you ever would have out of it.
I'll get more enjoyment out of that. Yeah, absolutely. I do think it is a perfectly reasonable thing to look at the graphics in this and be a little disappointed because I think it looks better, but it could look a whole lot better. It looks good, but it could look significantly better.
Yeah, I get to be disappointed. I think some people kind of expected just kind of too much because here's the thing:
it's okay to want more.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. I agree 100%. But the problem is Game Freak is like 150 people in the whole thing. They work on multiple games at once, so it's just one of those things.
I mean, obviously, this game is going to sell an insane amount.
And that's the kind of unfortunate thing with this. Pokemon is, in a way, a victim of its own success.
Oh, 100%.
Because I love Pokemon. It's one of my favorite franchises. You know this. I mean, Dari, can you remember a time that I haven't loved Pokemon?
I mean, no. It was
exactly. But
when you were in diapers, I don't know if you were huge into Pokemon, but you probably were. I don't know.
But it's if we ever did a discussion, which could be a good discussion, like of franchise games or whatever that we think could be better with it or whatever, or have the most missed potential or whatever. Pokemon would be at the top of my list despite how much I love them. There's so much potential in this series that if Game Freak decided to go crazy with it, they could.
Yeah.
But obviously they are.
And that's just the biggest disappointing thing to me is just this feels like if any of the Pokemon could have been a turning point towards what we really think this series could be in potential, this is the one. This is the one that could have been there.
And it's the unfortunate thing because Pokemon is more than the games. It's a whole thing with the anime, the toys and everything, all the products and everything. They got to keep the train going. They got to consistently put these things out. So they people wanted this to be Pokemon Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild took like a couple more years than they said it was gonna take. They pushed that step back. Pokemon, unfortunately, doesn't have that luxury. Not to really defend it, but that's just the way, unfortunately, Pokemon works. Like, they gotta make sure this game comes out the same time the Sun and Moon anime is ending, so we can come out the same time the next anime arc starts.
Oh, absolutely, and it's one of those things that the thing that I want and that I think you ultimately want and everyone wants from Pokemon makes zero financial sense to do.
Yep, because they'll continue selling, continue breaking records. Like, this could be the best selling Pokemon game since Red and Blue.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, like Sun and Moon, for the most part, Pokemon, especially the most recent ones, have just kept getting more and more popular, right? Like Sun and Moon was more popular than the ones before it.
I don't know if it's anything more popular. I think the sales haven't gone down.
Okay,
I'll say that.
They're at least like steady, and you're making these games with a 50-person team or a 100-person team, whatever it is. For not that much money, it's a very simple game, and it's selling crazy to the point where like my mom knows what Pokemon is and all these other things. So yeah, if you were like, no, we want you to go make this for triple the budget and like triple the development time, but you're not going to make any more money. In fact, you might make less because it's not as accessible. That makes no sense financially. But at the same time, and again, they're fine financially, so there's nothing making them do this. But from my perspective, when I'm looking at it, there are so many other JRPGs doing very similar things to Pokemon that I feel like are doing way better that I'm going to play before Pokemon. Like and that's how that goes. Like and I do think like, you know, there's going to be people who drop off because of this, and there's going to be more people that gain on. Like Pokemon's going to be fine.
Yep.
But I'm just like, I want to like play devil's advocate a little bit.
I think for the most, a lot of people's you know, have reason to be disappointed. I get it. In some ways I'm disappointed, but at the same time, I'm more excited that I've been out of a Pokemon game since Sun and Moon, potentially, or even before that. Partly because that's the last, you know, new gen.
Wasn't Sun and Moon the last one?
I mean, but there's Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon and Let's Go and stuff like that. Again, we're coming off Let's Go, which I had no hype for. I did not get, and so I've kind of come off that like, yay, they're doing things more normal again, which. I think some people should kind of may wait to see about this game because we did not show much. Some people I think are, you know, and this happens with a lot of things. Strangely enough, I feel like it happens more with Nintendo games. They see a trailer and they're like, "Oh, that's everything. There's nothing more to be announced," and they take what they see and like, "Oh, they're not going to announce anymore." Like there are some people that. There are no NPCs in the trailer, as you noticed. Yeah. Besides the trainer you battled, I promise you 100% that they took the NPCs out of the trailer, like of the areas for the purpose of the trailer.
That's what I'm assuming.
Because even the older Pokemon games had NPCs in cities. So that's not something they're going to take out.
I mean, I agree with you. I think that's going to be a thing. I do think it's a weird choice to take them out for the trailer because I feel like that would just make it better. Just like if I saw people walking around the town, I'd be like, oh, this is a lived-in, like,
again, I think that's kind of one of those things they wanted to focus on the actual region itself.
Yeah.
Whether that's a good decision is one thing, but I think that's what they were going for.
Yeah, I think it probably is.
Yeah, I mean, because it's Pokemon. They got a lot of stuff to show. They will consistently put out trailers, and each time there'll be a new, ooh, that's cool thing or something exciting to show.
And, I mean, as we'll get to, they've only showed 3 new Pokemon from this trailer.
Which is exciting.
They hopefully have a lot more to show.
Oh, yeah, they have plenty more to show. So, I guess we get into the nitty-gritty.
Let's get into that nitty-gritty of...
Yeah, so the new Pokemon games from PS4, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield are announced. A lot of people have made the joke before, but I gotta imagine Sword's gonna sell.
Sword is gonna outsell Shield.
Well, actually, I think it's gonna be a little more even than we thought because there are gonna be people that buy Shield because a bunch of people buying Sword.
Yes,
and that way because they have friends. Like I talked to Alex and Olivia. We'll probably talk. One of us will get Shield for sure.
But I think there is a 0% chance that Shield outsells Sword.
Yeah,
absolutely 0.
Also, not to say, like, if I just look at the name, Sword's the one I'd go with, but at the same time, if the Legendary come out...
Shield and Grookey, man. Yeah. That's me. The guy not buying the game.
So, if the Legendary are cooler and we hear the exclusive Pokemon, the Shield ones are better, I'll get Shield.
Yeah, it's just a name.
Yeah.
It's,
The new region is called the Galar region and inspired by Great Britain, UK, etc., etc.
It's all some very European-looking, like... scenery and like a little Big Ben-esque building and like lots of British stuff.
Let's see, gyms seem to be back and they seem to be out at their soccer stadiums, or as they like to call them over there across the pond, football.
They call it football.
Yes.
That's exactly what they call it.
So yeah, Well, since we're America, we're gonna be calling it soccer.
Yeah, so people did kind of on the map. They saw several other things that they're assuming also like the stadiums like that, like more than just one. So that probably is the gym.
So that's kind of something, and we also see in the trailer, and I'm getting this from Game Explain, who have analysis.
Of course,
it's only one analysis out of two. They just went over the trailer. They haven't. They're now writing stuff that might come up to the night of this recording, where they analyze the map.
Wow.
They haven't got to that part yet. I'm like, you madmen. But anyway, they noticed when in the trailer when your trainer he's wearing like a soccer jersey going into the stadium. They notice it's the same stadium as the one we see multiple times that has like the grass emblem on it. That seems to be like potentially the first gym you go to. So what I'm getting down with that is it looks like the whole you walking into the stadium with the jersey thing is something that happens early on. It may not be like, oh, you're at the Elite Four, the top of the top type thing.
Okay.
So what might be happening here, what might be cool is Pokemon's always been a sport, but this might be like more like a sport, like an official thing or something. You might be technically on a team or something. There might be like a Sword and Shield team, and which team you're on is based on what version you get or something.
Which that could be very cool. It was giving me very like Pokemon Stadium vibes.
Maybe your rival that's in this game is going to be on the other team.
Yeah.
Also, something potentially, and this is completely coming from Game Explain, they noticed that potentially based on the layout of the first area, they might be two professors, which would be a kind of a first for Pokemon. Okay. They kind of thought about this if they go into the whole sports thing. The professors are coaches for both teams.
That could be cool.
Like one is the professor for you, the other one professor for the rival or something.
What if you're just straight up playing soccer?
Well, that'd be interesting. So this might be more focused on Pokemon being a sport, because when we go in there, so the whole crowd and everything, you're actually in the middle of the stadium, which could be cool in a way to make it different. Make it more of an event.
And then I want the animal rights activists to be like,
yeah, exactly.
How are you making this a sport?
Yeah. Okay, and going into something that is big for me, or at least a general thing. Unlike Let's Go, well, this part is whatever. Unlike Let's Go, Pokemon do not roam around the map. That's something immediately that was a big change from Let's Go, which that one more than the next change.
We're kind of split. Like you're kind of split on it, right?
Yeah, that is a change I completely get why people want. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of mixed on it because I like going into the grass and seeing the new Pokemon for the first time, seeing what Pokemon is in the area, seeing what I can catch and all that kind of stuff. I like that surprise element. It's not as surprising when you go into when you can see them all on the field, in my opinion. Yeah, and it's a little different than other JRPGs when you see enemies on the field, because these are like you're strategically catching certain Pokemon and stuff. That's what I get. People are saying like, well, Dragon Quest moved on for this, blah blah blah. But you're just fighting them. Yeah, you're just fighting them. It's not the same thing as when you're catching them, in my opinion. Yeah, I do wish there was some. I mean, like I think it just visually looks better and like kind of feels better when everything's on the field. Like it makes the wilderness look more alive, but especially in this like beefed up art style, like it would just look better. But like we said before, Nuzlocke would be dead pretty much. I mean, it's like a very central pillar of Nuzlocke. Nuzlocke were changed for multiple different ways in Let's Go, which a big reason will be the next thing we talk about. But this is the way I look at it, and I completely get why one out of the changes that might, change from Let's Go to this, why this is the one people may be most disappointed with. Yeah. I'm probably on the side of, I kind of prefer this in a way, but I wouldn't be disappointed if they were on the field. Mm-hmm. I'd be kind of happy either way, for the most part. But the way I look at it is, for the first time, like I said, it'd be nice to get the surprise of seeing a brand new Pokemon you may not have seen before. The odds are I would have seen most of them by that point, because I'm probably going to be following the announced Pokemon Plus. Because of Twitter, I'm not going to be able to hide from it. People will be posting those Pokemon. Absolutely. And seeing what old Pokemon are there, kind of stuff. That's surprise. Right. And then you might be like go against my thing. Well, what about playing consecutively and all that kind of stuff? Make it easier. Well, if I'm going to play this again, it will be in a Nuzlocke, and it being random encounters just make Nuzlocks easier, better. Yeah, in my opinion. Yeah, like it's because when you can pinpoint, you're just going to be like, all right, well, I'm going to go after the good Pokemon. There's like, well, you go for one's closer. It's like, that was technically closer, but in Nuzlocke with the random encounters, that just leaves up the chance. There's no way to wriggle out of it unless you're just purposely let RNGesus decide your Pokemon. Exactly. Yep. Now the next thing is huge and is why I'm excited for this game, and I'm glad to not come back from Let's Go. random battles, battling random Pokemon.
Right.
It's not the Let's Go catching mechanic, which is big for me because I do not like that mechanic.
Yeah, overall, I really didn't see anything that I could think is a Let's Go influence in this game.
Yeah.
Which is, honestly, I kind of expected it to be this way. I mean, I think this game was made to alongside Let's Go as well. But it is a good thing to have confirmed.
Yep, I like that more. I don't like I just don't like the idea of catching a whole bunch of Pokemon. Especially, again, the whole random battle thing makes the whole Nuzlocke.
And grinding them into candy.
Yeah.
It's brutal, man.
Plus, again, for Nuzlocks, battling wild Pokemon for grinding is, yeah. So, that change is huge for me, and that's...
a very big...
Yeah. Another thing that, compared to Let's Go, we did not see is Pokemon falling trainers like in Let's Go. It's something that was not shown in this. That's something I'd actually like to come back because that's just an aesthetic thing that's just cool.
But
that
a little Eevee on your shoulder too.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's not in. And this could have been like the no NPCs a thing for something they decided for the trailer. Because in Let's Go, you can turn that on and off.
Yeah.
So people were freaking out about that some. That doesn't mean just because it wasn't shown in the trailer doesn't mean it's not in this game.
Yeah, I'm not expecting it to be honest with you, because I really just don't think you can look at Let's Go and for anything with this game. Like, I really think this game was what this game was, independent of Let's Go. I think that's the direction they're going with this. But
the whole Fire Pokemon was more of just kind of an aesthetic kind of thing that doesn't affect gameplay at all. That people just like.
Yeah. No, it'd be good.
But at the same time, Let's Go only limited to the 150 for. Sword and Shield, they got to make the models and walkie animation that for 1,000 Pokemon about it.
There's that many Pokemon.
After these, it's going to be pretty close, or at least 900, I think.
Wait, do they include every Pokemon from every gen and every new game?
No, they don't. Like let's say there'll be like 400 and all that will be in this game potentially.
Yeah,
but you're supposed to be able to trade like from older games to this game, especially for competitive scene. So they have like the models and everything prepared for every single Pokemon.
Have they always done that?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Let's Go is the exception for this, and that's why some people did, like some people.
I thought it was like a question of like which Pokemons are going to be
like. Yeah, there's a question which Pokemon will be available in the game itself, but you're supposed to be able to take Pokemon from like Sun and Moon.
Yeah, but that still means they have to program in.
Yes, exactly. Which is why they might not have the walking thing, because they got to do that for every single Pokemon.
I mean, I'm very ignorant with Pokemon. Honestly, everything that I'm speaking like against you is kind of just to have a interesting conversation. And I'm coming from the perspective of I was like, hey, Nintendo, sell me. You didn't sell me. That's okay. But that's just that's the perspective that I'm bringing. But I had no clue. No, I did not know that.
That's the thing, and that's why they may not have it. And that's kind of one of those things like. It kind of sucks because that's something like I think should be back if they can make it work, but they can't.
Yeah, that would be a lot of animations to do.
And then people might complain, like let's say, because in Let's Go they had stuff like you can ride Charizard, you can ride on Snorlax's stomach.
Yeah,
they'd have to potentially do that for find ways to do that for a bunch of the 1,000 Pokemon.
Yeah. Oh, you want my take? It's not happening. I didn't know about all of that. Yeah. Now that I know about all of that, it's not happening. There's a 0% chance that's happening.
Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff that's compared to Let's Go, and overall, I am happy with these changes. Like, it makes it more of a Pokemon I more into playing.
Yeah, it's again, I think it's the balance of. It's very like this is very more back to normal Pokemon, maybe too much more back to normal Pokemon, but I mean it's definitely better than Let's Go.
Yeah, but there are some people who are like this is a step back from Let's Go. I'm like, you're crazy.
But Jeff said you're crazy.
Yep, I'm saying it. But I don't know what else to say. So yeah, that kind of stuff, and it's more my thing. So I was worried about Let's Go, how it could influence future games, and part of me still is because this was developed side by side. That doesn't mean some Let's Go stuff won't go on to other regular mainline games. But if they keep it kind of separate like this, I'll be more quote-unquote okay. Let's go. They're okay with Let's Go. I was just worried how it did the mainline games. But if they kind of doing it this way based on what we've seen, go crazy with Let's Go. Do all the hand-holding Let's Go stuff you want. I don't care.
So
I might even be more interested in potentially buying.
No, Jeff.
I'm just throwing that out there. It probably won't because
I mean you do you, but don't let the Pokemon hype carry you into buying a game you don't want that you're not going to play.
Darby, I probably won't. Okay. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying I'm probably more open to it.
Okay.
It probably won't have too many games, but yeah, moving on.
So your Let's Go animosity is not as strong as it was in that 30-minute video we posted.
Yeah. Okay, and something interesting. Obviously, we'll get to the starters in a minute, but they showed older Pokemon in this before they got to the starters when they were showing the region and stuff.
Jeff Pikachu's in this game. What a shock.
Yeah. Though some people brought up a good point as far as Pikachu goes. I think it was Gaming's playing Pikachu. They found Pikachu on Route 1. That may not be the case in the regular game because in Sun and Moon, I think it was Route 1. You can find Pichu because it was the early thing and you get the baby Pokemon.
I mean, this was just, they were going to show you the beginning of the game, and they wanted to show you
the mascot.
and they wanted to show you Pikachu as fast as possible. Yeah.
But the most interesting, I won't go and name all the Pokemon unless they come up in conversation. But I made a little list here of all the Pokemon that old Pokemon they showed. And I kind of labeled them by generations, grouped them up.
Yeah.
The interesting is they showed about a dozen-ish of them, 13, 14 of them.
And they're pretty evenly spread.
Yeah, evenly split between all 7 gens so far.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, so Pikachu's the only Gen 1 Pokemon, surprisingly.
Yeah, it's definitely won't be in the end. But
Munchlax was in there, so that means Snorlax is in this game. But as far as what they actually showed off.
He better be.
Yeah.
Spear now.
So, yeah, there's like 1 to 3 of each gen. Gen 1 and 6 only had 1 Pokemon each. Gen 5 had 3 of them.
Who's Grubbin?
Grubbin, it's a little bug, like grub Pokemon.
I want to meet Grubbin.
I think you'd like its evolved form.
Grubbin.
So, and I'm fine with the Pokemon they seem to have.
Let's get into the starters, Jeffrey.
Yeah. Oh, also, yeah. Well, we'll come back to one of the Pokemon I wanted to mention. One of the Pokemon on the list, Darby. Well, one of them we already have. Bosman's in this game.
Bosman. Oh yeah, Bosman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
watch the Pokemon name.
What's its name? Scatman evolved form in this game. Yeah. Which might be something. Come up later in an interesting conversation.
Yeah, good. Nurse YouTube channel, Pokemon Emerald Nuzlocke.
So yeah, the starter Pokemon. Of course, they're grass, fire, and water, which some people wanted. Notably, Tim Geddes from Kind of Funny wanted it to be changed, which I'm not against.
Yeah,
honestly, the starter Pokemon thing is one of those things. If they changed it, I'd be like, okay. If they don't change
That's
it,
perfectly
okay.
Fine, yeah.
Because it's like, well, I'm getting this Pokemon, then I'm going to get a whole bunch more, so it doesn't matter too much. But I did think he brought an interesting point. If they were different types, that can change the dynamic of what Pokemon you find early in the game, and that sounded interesting. So, maybe kind of wish more of that, but
it's not the biggest deal, probably.
But let's get into what their starter decks are, which obviously flooded Twitter the last couple days.
Of course, in the wars.
The grass Pokemon, Grookey.
Grass monkey.
Grass monkey.
That monkey.
I think it's the second monkey starter Pokemon. We had Chimchar, which was a fire type in Gen 4.
Yeah, well, spoilers. Grookey is the best. Grookey is the best.
Yeah, and it's also something interesting. All these Pokemon are a lot of Pokemon are puns based on words and all that kind of stuff. This one, people are thinking are a Groove Monkey. Because
he was like beating on the stick on a
rock.
rock.
The stick that he has like in his hair at the top, he's using to like beat like a drum.
He's a musical grass monkey, groove monkey, dude. He's like,
and as far as that, people might think that might be a stretch or something potentially. And apparently, the French, its French name kind of makes it seem more. Yes, it's gonna be music based,
nice,
which is cool. And then the fire Pokemon, Scorbunny, which is obviously Scorch Bunny. But people also kind of pointed out potentially it could be a double meaning because soccer might be a big thing in this, so it might be like Scorbunny.
I don't think so. I don't think
Scorch Bunny's always
I think it's Scorch. It's a fire buddy.
Yeah, double meaning, you never know. It could go the whole soccer route. It could be kicking things.
We'll see.
Now, the problem is with this one is it has a bandage. It was like a bandage type.
Yeah, this freaking idiot buddy is like too stupid to even. He just hurts him. He hits himself in the head and needs to put a bandage on his forehead. Freaking nerd.
Which is a
I'm just gonna tear down Scorbunny and just don't wait till Sobble. Right.
But that's a stereotype in Pokemon and just anime in general of fighters. So firefighting potentially. This Pokemon, once I saw it, it screamed firefighting to me.
What percentage of generations have had firefighting starters? So like,
let's see,
80%.
So you had a 7 had firefighting.
It's less than I thought, but that's still a lot percentage.
Considering all the types that are out there.
Yes. Yeah.
So
and that would be 2 in a row, right?
No. Incineroar's dark.
Oh, huh. He is literally a fighter. Like, he is a wrestler.
I think that was the thing they wanted to make. He's supposed to be a heel wrestler.
So they basically made a firefighting and then just
didn't make it the typing. Yeah. Like, it makes more sense when using Japanese because the name of the dark type is evil in Japan. Heel wrestler. So that's kind of where that comes from.
Wow, gotcha.
So
anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah. And the final third one, the water Pokemon, Sobble, which is supposed to be, I assume, Sob and Bubble. Is where he's a sad boy.
Sad boy.
Calling it now, he's going to end up being an angry thing when it gets big.
That's it, yeah. Seems about right.
He's going to grow up into being an angry boy.
Yeah, go from sad anxiety boy to
yep.
Giant angry boy. Grookey's the only one that
I'm honestly don't know which one I'm going for in this. I'll wait to see its evolutions, potentially what typings, or at least the second evolutions probably. I mean, I got months before I have to decide.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
But how do you feel about them in general?
Honestly, we talked about this on our own. When I was seeing the trailer, I was like, because the trailer kind of looked kind of weird.
The CG trailer is bad.
Yeah.
It's straight up bad.
Like, just the design, as far as showing off the Pokemon and what they were doing, that was fine. Yeah.
Except for Sobble's, like, string of piss that looked like when he shot his water. It was weird looking.
But, so, yeah. But once I saw, like, the regular 2D art, I was like, okay, I got these.
Yeah.
And honestly, and of course, every single time new Pokemon are shown off recently, especially the starters, there are a flood of people like, oh, these look like Fakemon, and these look like Digimon and crap.
Okay.
Like, these are like fan drawings. They do that every single time the last, I don't know how many gens at this point.
We all know all three of these are going to end up being giant badass things. Like, how many times has this happened?
It's just kind of an annoying thing at this point. People are like, every single Pokemon, most Pokemon designs since it ranges, like, some of them, it goes back as Gen 3. Some of them, anything after Gen 2 or 1 are bad. Yeah. Or look like Digimon, or look like fans drew them. It's like, they have so many, and there's so many fan-drawn creative Pokemon. There are going to be some
some are going to be better than others.
Yeah, and some of them are going to look potentially similar to what they come up with. People put hours and hours into drawing these fake monsters.
Absolutely.
So, that's whatever. And
the Powerpuff Girl thing was funny to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually when the starters come out, they look a little weird to me at first. Then I adjust to them, and I'm like, nope, these look like any other Pokemon to me, and it's great.
Yeah,
so fun. I'm excited about that. I think the starter Pokemon look good, and oh man, okay, I don't know how that got in there.
Just blank paper, just chilling.
Yeah. And it seems to be pretty split as far as like what people like. I feel like there's some of them. Unfortunately, Darby, when I've seen Grookey, is the least popular.
That is blasphemy to me. I don't understand how that happens.
So.
Grookey's definitively the best.
Yeah. So, now the most interesting thing, as far as Sword and Shield, we can talk about, are some potential leaks / rumors, Darby. That they are 4chan. Sometimes, a lot of times, a bunch of stuff in there is BS, but sometimes
some nuggets of truth.
Yeah. So there are 2 leaks that people post, that people have been showing off or whatever that were posted before this announcement that has some things right about this. That named is being called Pokemon Sword and Shield, and the reason being off base against like Great Britain and the UK and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I'm only going to be talking about one of these because the other one, because you remember you watched the Kind of Funny Games Daily thing. Yeah. There were 2 of them that were shown off and that people have been showing around. There's one that was really long and kind of detailed, and there's one that was kind of shorter. The longer one, I'm not even really going to talk about because it's for 2 reasons. Partly because normally with these things, if they're long and detailed, they're wrong.
Yeah.
They're lying. Yeah. Usually it's the short and sweet ones that are going to be the right ones. Also because they got something really wrong. It named the starters in it. It said, like, it got the Fire Bunny right, which is not even that big of a deal because everyone thought it was be a Fire Bunny because all fire starters are based off the Chinese zodiac. And there are 12 of them, so there are only 5 left. So everyone's always attached to the bunny. That was the popular guess.
Right.
I can't remember what they said for water, but for the grass starter, they said it was going to be like a spider. That's completely wrong. If you're going to have all those details and get the starters wrong, No.
Get out of Jeff's presence.
I mean, if you're gonna get all those crazy details it had in there, and get the species of the started completely wrong,
yeah,
odds are it's fake.
Yeah, I agree. I am agree.
But this is the most interesting because it was short and to the point, and none of it's crazy out there. Some of it has some credence to it. So yeah, Pokemon Sword and Shield, the region being what it is, says and this will make or break this thing.
Yeah.
When they're announced, the legendary Pokemon are going to be a metal stake and a wooden horse. Which,
that's interesting. I don't know what a wooden horse is, just made out of wood and it's just walking around. It's interesting.
Probably based on Trojan horses.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not like British, but yeah. But no, that could be cool.
So once we see the legendary one, this will make or break the rest of this.
The next one sounds very interesting to me.
Yep. Like I said before, each new generation, the last couple one, they like to do little gimmick things that people are usually kind of mixed on. Most people at large usually like these stuff because they're fun, they're hype, or whatever, like Mega Evolutions and senior stuff. But
it's fun.
And the other leak I think had something similar. This game will have armored evolutions.
It's interesting. It's like going on this like old European, like Britain, like knights vibe.
Yep. No, yeah, and that kind of makes it sound legit. It's like, okay, yeah, that's gonna be based off.
Yeah, and with the sword and shield, like,
yeah,
that seems very.
They could do a thing. Their armored styles, like sometimes with Mega Evolution, they split it by game. You can only get some in one game and some in the other. Yeah, the two versions they can make it so more offensive types are in sword, more defensive types are in shield. Yeah, yeah. And they also named some Pokemon that were gonna involved in this, which two of them kind of made me think this could potentially be more legit. Armored Charizard. Okay, Charizard being involved is not surprising, but in the trailer, you see the trainer girl in the lab at some point when they're kind of just showing off, and you can see in the corner a whiteboard with details and plans going on and research and stuff, and there's a Charizard on it. So potentially it's the professor studying armored evolution and using Charizard as a study thing.
Attaching a bunch of metal plates to Pokemon.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about Charizard, like, armored. Yeah. That sounds badass. Sounds like that could be really cool.
Next one, Armored Mewtwo.
Also sounds like it could be badass.
Well, in a way, we kind of gotten this already, and we got this 20 years ago, Darby. Wow. Do you remember anything about the first Pokemon movie? You've probably seen it at least once or twice.
I've seen it multiple times, yeah. I remember the ending.
Do you remember Mewtwo being in the armor? Like, no, that's a thing.
I just remember Pikachu being, or no, Ash being
stone
dead, or something, yeah.
But, so that's the thing. It may not be related to this, but something interesting is you might have seen this. We wasn't planning on talking about it, but I guess it's coming up. That Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back evolution thing. It's a remake of the first movie. You might have seen screens of it where they have weird 3D model things. Okay. It's a remake of the first movie and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, they're going to have merchandise for it. They already showed some of it off, like some keychains and stuff that has like 2 Pokemon on each one. Most of it is like Charizard on one and Charmander are the 2 on a keychain and stuff like that. Right. There are 2 Mewtwo's ones. One of them says normal Mewtwo. One of them on both of them is normal Mewtwo, and then the other one is a question mark there right now, and they have the name. It says Armored Mewtwo. Okay. Which you could also think it's the Armored Mewtwo that we're used to, but it's weird that they're not showing it off if that's what it is.
They can just show it later.
Yeah, but
they haven't showed the armored anything yet. That could just be a whole thing that they're waiting to.
Yeah, so that makes us think that potentially this, if could relate to this, is the fact. Normally in these Pokemon movies, they like to, even before the games are even out, put something from the upcoming gen in there. For example, Mega Mewtwo was actually shown before X and Y were out in a movie. We saw Mega Mewtwo, we're like, what in the world is this? It can now be Mega Evolution. Okay. So they could be doing that. They could be inserting that into this movie because they can make some changes to it. Not like it's a deep story or something. So
Armored seems like it might be a thing.
Well, another thing, Armored Flygon is mentioned on here, which is a random Pokemon for this. Like the other one is Armored Zeraora. I probably pronounced that wrong. It's one of the newest Pokemon they made. It's like a humanoid Thundercat thing. Oh god! It kind of makes sense that would be one of the Pokemon. Flygon stands out because it's not really the Pokemon that's usually shown off that much. Like it's a Gen 3 Pokemon Derby, and we got the Gen 3 remakes, and people have complained the fact it did not get a Mega Evolution. It's a popular one, and we're probably gonna have one on our team in the Nuzlocke.
Okay.
What's also weird about this,
I didn't even know Emerald was Gen 3.
what stands out with this, we saw Flygon in the trailer already, so we know Flygon's in this game.
Okay.
So that very well could be a coincidence, but it just kind of stands out to me.
Yeah, especially if it's not the most popular.
And
Pokemon.
final thing, Melton tied into Armored Evolution and Legendary Lore.
Oh, was that dude that was added to Pokemon Go? Right?
Yeah, let's go. And I don't think he's technically been said what generation he's in. He could technically be the first Gen 8 Pokemon we've seen.
Right.
I might be wrong on that. I probably should check that. So yeah, that's where it's like. I'm excited for this game.
All right.
We'll definitely talk about it more.
Absolutely. This is not the last you have heard
Darby,
about Let's Go. Yes.
We are not done with Pokemon yet. I'll put this as a timestamp. You can put this as a thing if you want.
That we are not, Jeffrey.
This has been a big week for Pokemon Darby. We got a new trailer for Detective Pikachu.
It was a good trailer, Jeff.
It was a good trailer.
It was pretty darn funny.
Yeah, it's definitely. I don't want any more trailers because they kind of showed a fair amount.
Yeah, and everyone's already sold on this.
You don't need to sell people anymore on this movie. I wanted
sure
to see this.
It's already a little bit of a bummer that Mewtwo's in it.
Yeah, well, this is nowhere they were not going to market that off Fever's Ending, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's not egregious as Batman v Superman showing Doomsday off.
Right, I agree.
Doomsday's not marketable. Mewtwo's marketable.
I also don't think Mewtwo's going to be like the central bad guy, the central last.
Plus, honestly, if you knew the Detective Pikachu games, Mewtwo's in it, so that's not a really big surprise.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not from the outside. It was like, I expected Mewtwo to be in this.
Yeah. So I was interested in seeing another trailer just because, like, was that first trailer a fluke? I need to know. And then it's like, oh, this trailer is actually in ways better than the first one.
No, in my opinion, this trailer is significantly better than the first one. Not that I don't think the first trailer was bad, but I also was watching that first trailer like, why is everyone this excited about this? So I was like, this movie doesn't look like, I'm not convinced as nearly as convinced as everyone else that this is going to be a good movie. After I saw this trailer, like, I'm interested in seeing this movie, not at all because of the Pokemon. It's just because it's basically Deadpool 3. That's honestly the most. And the jokes were clever. It was like it was a very well done. I Need a Hero song was just so perfect for that trailer. And then at the end, when they like kind of remix the song and make it like it keeps going higher octaves as it's getting crazier, it was just a really, really well done trailer.
I like what they're doing, and they may have been using Mr. Mime for this, but I expect there could be more. But they don't want to show them all off. They're using joke based off Pokemon's abilities and stuff, which is the kind of thing you want to see in a live action Pokemon movie.
Yeah,
I think they're doing it right. Obviously, as a bunch of people point out, some Pokemon look weird, like Ludicolo. Looks like Gritty.
It was great though.
Like, honestly, you think about it, that's what it would look like in real life. I mean, some Pokemon are going to translate to quote-unquote real-world designs better than other ones. That's just the way that's going to work with these things. Apom is terrifying. The monkey Pokemon.
They're all pretty terrifying. I mean, they're going for a style, and their style is definitely a little bit of freaky. Like, they're trying to make them look a little scary.
I mean, and the thing I appreciate is Pokemon would look freaky in real life, just the way it goes.
No, but it's kind of surprising that Nintendo is okay with that. I'm happy.
Here's the thing, I'm kind of meant to bring this up with Pokemon Sword and Shield. Nintendo really doesn't have anything really to do with this. It's all Pokemon companies.
Or, just in general. Just anyone like involved with Pokemon.
No, that doesn't change your point. I'm just gonna...
Yeah. Good. Calling that out.
No, but I agree. Pikachu saying, I think Damn in Hell. Both were...
Did okay.
I think Damn was in the little teaser thing that was shown like the day before. Oh, did you see Ryan Reynolds thing when he was just...
I still haven't watched it yet. I know it was there. I still haven't watched it.
It's like Deadpool style marketing and it's great.
But it was just like, even like whenever Ryan Reynolds was out, some people were getting excited just off of that. And I was sitting here...
I think I was in line with you. I'm like...
I was sitting here, was like, it doesn't matter who the person is, they're going to be the same cookie cutter, whatever. Like, they're not going to let Ryan Reynolds be Ryan Reynolds. Like, it's not going to be an identifiable character. So I was like, guys, don't get excited just off of that.
I agree with you. It's like, they're just doing this for the star power, and this is going to be just another movie for Ryan Reynolds.
Really smart for them to like.
And Ryan Reynolds seems to be kind of into this too.
No, definitely, yeah.
Even if he's acting it up, it seems he is, and And that's good. He brought his wife into the marketing.
And obviously it's going to be like slightly more kid friendly, but they seem aware of that and they're trying to make it funny, like, despite that.
They know kids will be into this. I mean, this could be a horrible movie and kids would be into this. Right. But what they need to do is make it so it's marketable to adults, and they are. Based on what
definitely.
This movie could still be bad, but right now it's looking good. It looks like it's going to make a buttload of money.
And this is what, like, from the first trailer, I did not get this. From this trailer, I think this is going to be a funny movie independent of Pokemon. So now I'm probably going to go see it with you guys. Honestly, from that first trailer, I wasn't.
I'm kind of glad you are, just because this could be a fun this could be a good spoiler cast. Even like it's just me and you. From the case of, I am a huge Pokemon fan.
I would be a weird voice in this room, like
but it would be kind of a unique thing. Like, odds are there not going to be too many people that do spoiler casts that have a non-Pokemon fan kind of in it.
This is very true. It's going to be,
and maybe we can get Alex involved and stuff like that. So
he might be down.
So me and him can talk about the effect of how we feel as Pokemon fans, kind of bouncing off each other, and we can bounce off you as someone who's not really a Pokemon fan. Kind of has some knowledge here and there.
Yeah.
But more off of a movie.
Yeah, so. I still think the Pokemon themselves. I don't think they look anywhere near as good as everyone else seems to think. Like I think they look still. I mean, they look cool, but they don't look like what I think they're trying to make them look like. To me, they still all just look fake. Like it all just looks like weird practical, like, stuffed animal things or something. Like it looks a good version of that, but I'm not getting the whole, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain.
I get what you're saying.
It's not like the way that everyone else is revering how it looks. I still am not there, but it's funny. So like I just want to go see. Like I said, I mean, like it's probably to Pokemon fans is blasphemy, but I really just want to go see it because it seems like Deadpool humor. It seems like Deadpool 3 when Deadpool's a Pikachu now.
Well, Dari, hopefully maybe we can try to get in there soon after it comes out, maybe.
Yeah. So May, right?
Yep, like 2 weeks after our venue, so we got those pretty close together.
And Captain Marvel a little bit before that.
Dari, that's next week.
Oh, shit, it is. Yeah, you're right. Then
do we know what we're doing next week, Darby?
A good bit before that. Is that next Friday?
Yes. Okay. Do we know what we're doing at some point next weekend?
Yeah. Okay. We should definitely do that.
So, it was a good Pokemon week, Darby.
It was a very
good
Pokemon week.
It's time to move on from Pokemon as much as I hate it.
46 minutes into this podcast. It's time to move on.
Good thing we didn't plan a main topic. Obviously, this is it.
Yeah, let's launch into a deep discussion about politics. Oh, God, let's not.
Well, Dari, we're going to bring this down a little bit.
Okay.
Do you know see what the next story is?
Do you have any games that you want to talk about before then? I thought we were
okay. All right, we can break this up here.
We'll keep it a little lighthearted before going, I guess.
Honestly, I have one thing. Obviously, I can talk more about Jump Force. I'm going to wait till I'm done before I talk about it more.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So I'm close enough.
We're at that part. We're at that section.
So I'm just going to put it at the top of the thing where we do Darby. You can do that for time cuts.
Okay.
I have a quick little thing I played. Obviously, it's going to be Game of the Year, Darby. I played the Kingdom Hearts VR experience.
Oh, no.
Well, play might be a little bit of a stretch, but... Okay, point is, people who don't know about this is free. That's the important thing to point out.
Yeah.
Little experience thing where you put on it's for PSVR exclusive. You go in there. They're only like 2 little like worlds right now. They're gonna add more later, and you can tell based on this thing. And plus, they announced it when they announced this thing. They wanted this out before Kingdom Hearts 3 actually came out.
Yeah,
because it's kind of one of those things. Bryce Barnes was like, kind of this thing came out before Kingdom Hearts 3 did to get me kind of ready.
I thought it did. Like,
it might have in Japan.
Maybe it was just announced.
No, like, it was supposed to come out in December in Japan, and I think they pushed it back till like right before it came out in Japan, and we were supposed to always get it later. So that's the way it worked. Okay, so there are 2 little levels in the thing. The way it works, both times you're Sora. Like that's where your head is. That's where you're turning. It starts out at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3, where you're in the gummy ship or whatever, and you're about to go to Hercules World. Not really a spoiler. That's the beginning of the game. Yeah. So you're seeing. You look around in the gummy ship and you see Donald and Goofy there talking to you. They're doing the same conversation as the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3. So they definitely did not have to re-record lines on that.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest. Right here, I mean, there's honestly a pretty cool thing for a free thing. I would never pay money for this, but just as its own little free thing, it was kind of cool. It actually looked pretty good. Like Donald and Goofy models actually look good. Not much.
How was the actual VR? Like,
it's not much. You're just looking around mainly. It's not like, I think they're supposed to be like Keyblade levels. I think that stuff might be coming later, or they scrap that. I don't know. So you're pretty much listening and you're playing out a scene, and then then you go. Donald and Goofy disappear. You're still Sora. You're riding the gummy ship down like a tunnel, and you're just seeing like Kingdom Hearts scenes like in a circular thing go around you, and with music going on, which is kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
And that kind of ends for the first thing. The second scene is you're on Destiny Islands from the first Kingdom Hearts game. So you're young Sora, and you're with young Kairi and young Riku. And
I know that place.
Yeah. So, and from those voices, you can kind of definitely tell. Yeah, they just using the same lines from their first game. They definitely didn't. It'd be weird.
Like really bad quality.
Yeah. So yeah, you're looking at Sora. You're sitting on the tree of the Disney Islands. You're looking at the ocean. They're talking about going to different worlds and all that kind of stuff. Okay. And then the coolest part of this honestly starts. And then you watch Riku and Kairi, and you just see like
and you can touch them.
The orchestral version of Simple and Clean start playing, and just like scenes are starting to play in the sunset and on the ocean from Kingdom Hearts thing, like from the opening of Kingdom Hearts 3 and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
It's kind of I'm sure you might have heard about this. There's a Kingdom Hearts like concert thing that's going on.
Yeah,
that they do, and it's coming to Atlanta in like July. And I want to go.
I did not know that. I did not.
I want to go, but I probably can't.
Yeah, I know people love those.
Yeah. So what I think it is, because obviously when they're doing the stuff in the concert, there's screens in the background showing scenes. It's probably those scenes, but you're just hearing the music, so you're seeing stuff like a bunch of screens playing, like coming over the place and everything on the ocean. And
did it end with an advertisement for the?
No, concert? It didn't. And then at the end, it's like fireworks stuff. I don't know. It's a really cool thing.
That's cool.
And
That's
the
cool.
end, they tease you being Roxas in your Twilight Town, with his friends as coming soon. So I'll go back and jump into more. It's a cool little thing.
With the budget that it seems like it had just from what I saw of it before, it's probably smart that they didn't make it gameplay.
Oh yeah, it's just a cool little thing.
Because that could get
again,
bad
it's free. I'm not paying for this, but it's a free little thing. I'll keep it and go back to when they get the thing. It's a cool little experience.
I'm not really going to talk about it much. Because we're about to get into news and we definitely need to do that. But you might not be getting too many more Metro updates from me.
Oh no.
I don't know, Jeff. I'm really glad that other people are liking this game, but for me, it's just the world is just not nearly as interesting as I thought it was going to be. The voice acting's atrocious. The characters so far are just really bland, and these are some of the things that everyone said was like, yeah, the gameplay is whatever, but the world and the characters are the great part of Metro. To me, I've played like 5 hours, and it's just not doing it. And the gameplay just feels so damn clunky all the time. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, like maybe part of it is I'm playing so much Overwatch right now, and then going from Overwatch to Metro.
Well, no, I mean, to be fair, I feel like, not that I pay too much attention, I feel like the gunplay was the biggest point of criticism I saw, and it was the story and the world that were getting people sucked in, and if you're not caring for that stuff, there's nothing for you.
Exactly. Like there's just no aspect of this game that's really like, I like the vibe of it, and actually the survival elements are pretty cool. Like there's you have to like maintain your gun and maintain like your gas mask and stuff, and I agree with what other people said, where it's like just enough survival things to be interesting, but not so much to where it's overwhelming. I agree with all that, and just the general vibe I like, but like you just I definitely, everyone has already said this, it's like it's a AA game with AAA ambitions. Like they just went for a type of game that they were obviously not prepared to make, and to actually make like feel good. And the other part of it is I'm up to 6 times now that I've had to reset the game because I've got a glitch.
Damn.
I mean, like 3 of them was like I tried to jump over like a small thing or something, and I just got caught on top of it. I'm just jumping, I'm doing everything, can't do anything, so I have to load back. And there's other times I've like fallen, and then you're like in these dark corridors or whatever, and you'll be walking down the path, and then like suddenly there's this drop into the water that you couldn't see at all, and then you come back up somewhere. Like you can't swim in the game. If you fall in the water, you just come back up like wherever you last were on land. So it makes no sense sometimes. I'll fall in the water, and then he'll go, and he'll come back up like 100 yards away. I'm like, what the? It's frustrating. The game is just frustrating constantly. And I like, if the story and everything was grabbing me, I would probably be able to make like excuses for it and more. But I just can't recommend it. I mean, like, it's for some people, it's not for me, and I definitely kind of regret getting it.
Again, Dari, I know
I won't be getting another Metro game. I can tell you that it's.
Dari, I know people like Metro, but it's a damn shame that every single like box game you got to pay for it. February people are looking forward to have been a disappointment one way or the other.
Yeah. This one's definitely not a full disappointment. A lot of people really like it, but
yeah.
But
Apex reigns supreme.
Yeah, none of them have been like.
And Tetris 99, man.
This is the month of Tetris 99 and Apex.
The Shadow Drop Battle Royales.
Hell, yep, both of them. Yep.
I'm curious to see how NPDs go. I think it was Benji Sales on Twitter posted a little thing like, "Hey, what do you think is going to be the top selling game for February out of the new games?" I still think it's going to be Anthem, just because still as a
probably from the pre-orders alone.
Yeah. Is going to do it, but he only had 4 choices, and he said it's not Crackdown, guys.
That's all I could say.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a lot of disappointing stuff in NPDs. Like, those stuff will still chart high because of the new things, but it's going to be a lot of... We're not going to see a lot of, hey, they broke franchise records and stuff.
Don't get me wrong, like it's still good, and it's going to be good, and like not every year is going to be 2017, 2018, but so far, for me specifically, pretty slow start to 2019.
Yeah. Obviously, I had Kingdom Hearts.
Slow start, and just like there's not too many games I'm interested in, and the one that I was the most interested in, I'm 5 hours in and probably about to delete off my PlayStation. Damn. So that's like,
damn.
It's just not a good start. But
Dari, I'm just hoping partly for your sake for this year we get Last of Us this year, also because I just want Last of Us.
Yeah, that's the other part of that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into the news. We technically already talked about news, but. Oh, whatever. Jingle, jingle, jangle. I didn't do that. Whatever.
No, jingle, jingle, jangle. Yes, yeah. Indeed.
Okay, we're going to bring it down, Darby.
All right.
This comes from Brian Fung and Abby Olsheiser from Washington Post. And, Darby, I know I had those little notes here, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I ended up deleting stuff. I'm probably going to read at least most of this because this is kind of the story that I need to put as much context in there.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Austrian video game company THQ Nordic is apologizing after agreed to an Ask Me Anything session on 8chan, the freewheeling internet messaging board that was briefly delisted in 2015 by Google after being accused of hosting child pornography. The controversy began when THQ Nordic tweeted that we're doing an 8chan AMA and we have no idea why, inviting followers to join the conversation. But the announcement provoked a swift backlash on social media, with critics calling the session a terrible idea, among other things. The Q&A session gained momentum quickly in between requests for updates to legacy games such as Time Splitters. Some 8chan posters asked more lurid questions. Several centered on lollies. Do you know what those are, Darby?
Yeah.
A number of 8chan users requested that THQ Nordic include more lollies in its game. One such question was faced with, "Welcome to 8chan and hail Hitler, brothers." Despite the content of those questions, the company engaged with users. Where the lollies at? Wrote one user. End quote. And you got them already, we say. Philip Brock, marketing director for THQ Nordic, wrote from an ID marked as verified by an 8chan moderator. When an 8chan user posted a meme involving the member of the Knights Templar yelling an anti-gay slur, a THQ official replied from the verified ID, "That could be from one of our upcoming games." Representatives for the company declined to comment on the specifics of those exchanges, referring to a fretted public statement written by Brock and posted to THQ's Nordic's Twitter account. Quote, "I personally agreed to this AMA without doing my proper due diligence to understand the history and the controversy of the site," Brock said. "I do not condone child pornography, white supremacy, or racism in any shape or form. I'm terribly sorry for the short-sightedness of my," and he has an exclamation point next to the "my" decision. "This was not about being edgy. This blew up, and I very much regret to have done it in the first place." THQ Nordic's original tweet promoting the chat session was eventually deleted. By the way, that thing was up for way longer than it should have. And final little thing, 8chan launched in 2013 as a site for people who feel that the notorious image board 4chan is too heavily moderated, has a long-standing reputation for hosting controversial content that at times has flirted with the edge of the law. In addition to its brief delisting in 2015 over alleged child porn, 8chan has served as a rallying point for online harassers who have targeted victims on other platforms, such as Twitter, and that's not even all of the crazy stuff that happened on there.
Holy bad PR, Batman.
Yeah, this was...
like baffling.
This was baffling. Like,
just makes no sense. Like, where?
I was kind of following throughout the day because like Imran Khan on Twitter and a bunch of other people were obviously kind of doing updates on it because this is a big thing.
Yeah,
you have
a major and growing video
developer / publisher that has been in good press recently, and they just kind of squandered all that.
Yep, and like I don't know. I imagine you're in a similar place where it's like the more I see is about like what actually went down with this whole situation, the more I just don't buy the I didn't know what this was about. I just agreed to I mean, they literally started this with we're doing an 8chan thing and we don't know why. I mean, like it was obviously to be edgy. And like, you can't tell me this was
right away. It's like that is a bad idea. What are you doing? And it should be like, oh, by the way, I should have prefaced this. Do not go on 8chan. Like,
God, I was not going.
You could be on FBI watch list.
It was not worth checking out just to see what this was.
No, like I'm being serious. Do not go on 8chan even if you're curious.
No.
It's bad.
Absolutely do not.
Like again, the fact that I had to say that it should be an obvious thing, even if they didn't know you got on there. It's like this was a bad idea.
So why are they on there? Like, it's like
they were trying to market to that crowd, and in the end, they don't make anyone happy because obviously they're going to be people like us. Like, what in the world are you doing? And then the fact they apologize for it are going to make 8chan people unhappy.
No, it was just shitty all the way around.
Yeah, so no one's happy with them. There'll be some people like, oh, this isn't a big deal or something.
And but if I'm a PR person, I'm so terrified of things like this happening that like I don't know how the hell you would.
We've seen people discuss it. We kind of when we discussed it a little bit before, we said 4chan is kind of like maybe.
I wouldn't recommend doing a 4chan AMA, much less. And this is the like darker like, 4chan.
Even if you didn't know what it was, you should hear it as 8chan. It's like. This definitely stuff like connected to 4chan. Look it up and be like, no.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I was the same. I knew of 8chan and vaguely knew that it was just some like branch off from 4chan, and that's all I needed to know to already be like, hey, if I'm representing a company, there's no way in hell I'm doing this. And then if I had even done any bit of research into it,
I mean, there's some people, and I kind of said it in here that described 8chan the best like in a simple thing. It's a place for people that were too bad for 4chan. That's all you need to know.
It's not like this was something that just happened relating to them on 8chan that they had to figure out. Like they sought this out. Even if someone else like came to them with it, they said yes to it and they agreed to go to this place.
And they kind of obviously backtracked on it, but they kind of kept digging themselves for a little bit in there.
And even if it's true that like you had no clue what was going on, that means you're incompetent as a marketing person and the head of a company. And also by the responses, it seemed very clear that they knew what they talked about lollies and they just responded like it was normal.
Yeah,
and like lots of things like that.
Dropping the gay slur or whatever, and they're like. That could be from one of our upcoming games.
Yeah, it was bad. It's just all around bad. I mean, I don't blame like everyone at THQ Nordic. I'm sure there's like as we saw, there was I think people.
There were multiple employees that are like, I've never been so embarrassed to be a part of a company or something. And these are people that were, just acquired for some of these cases. So, I will say this: some people kind of. Attacking the wrong people with this. Obviously, blame THQ Nordic as, the top management, all that kind of stuff, marketing stuff. But don't blame, like, I saw some people blaming the people that were just acquired and sold their stuff to THQ Nordic. How are they supposed to know that's going to happen?
No, you don't. And
that's putting your anger / you being upset at the wrong place. I promise you, those people are more upset than you are.
Yeah, it's not like, hey, we're THQ Nordic, we're...
Yeah, because those developers who have nothing to do with this are going to take... a lot of shit for it because of what upper management did.
Yeah, no, I think it's a problem of like obviously this guy made a terrible decision and their company probably this guy probably shouldn't have the power to make these type of decisions solely.
Yeah, and it hurts. I'm interested to see how this will affect their overall game thing because there are a bunch of people like, I'm probably not going to get any more THQ Nordic games, at least not.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to. I think Greg said on Kind of Funny or whoever said it's a lot more of like you have to prove by action, so you have to
that's kind of thing.
You have to not repeat these things,
Not like I was too much interested in THQ Nordic. So the only thing I think I was buying me time wasn't in it.
Yeah.
as enamored like
and I get it with like these type of things. When you're a company like THQ Nordic, it probably is not the most like huge site. You know, they're not like the biggest financial powerhouse. They're buying a bunch of things right now. And they're doing all of this, but you know, I don't think they're this juggernaut. It's probably hard to get traction with a lot of your games, and you want to. I mean, like obviously they've never really done anything this bad, but even Bethesda has come in hot water sometimes because they definitely kind of have an edgy marketing style. CD Projekt Red, 100%. We've talked about it on this show.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that you have to try to like drum up attention, and this drummed up attention, but you have to do your research as a marketing person representing this company enough to know certain lines. Yeah. And this is not a hard line to identify. I feel like this is a pretty damn easy one.
And I'm going to say I disagree with a popular line. All press is good press. No.
I think that line works a lot of times, but there is a limit. there is a limit.
I agree with you. Like the fact that it says all, I'm like, no.
Yeah. Not all. Almost all, but not all.
A good chunk of it. In this case, this can only hurt them.
Yeah, and especially, like I said, THQ Nordic didn't need anything like this. They're already. I mean, I don't know if THQ Nordic is doing that bad, but it's just like I know that they're a very like AA like smaller game franchise. Which also, again, like we said, sucks for those smaller creators. They're tied to THQ Nordic. I mean, all these they just agree in a partnership with this company that will give them money. They don't know that they're gonna turn around and do something.
Some people are interested in to see how like the console holders like Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo respond. I think her name's Shannon Loftus from Microsoft. She responded to the original like link to it and saying when announced it's like, "Hey, why is this still up?"
Yeah,
someone from Microsoft posted that. So
it's pretty bad.
So Microsoft noticed this happen for sure publicly.
I mean, they all know.
They all know, but yeah, one of them has someone who publicly said, "Hey."
I feel like this will probably blow over, but
the internet will not forget.
No, especially you're definitely like now you're on thin ice.
Yeah, everyone's pretty like positive on you, and now everyone you have the sour taste everyone's mouth.
I know it's been like nothing but good THQ Nordic stories, and then
So. Okay, moving on, Darby. Okay,
this is sad news for some people.
Yep. Okay.
Not as sad news.
EVO's 2019 lineup has been revealed, Darby. And EVO will be held in Las Vegas this August, 2nd through 4th.
All right.
And these are the list of games. There are 9 games in all.
9 games.
Okay, here are they. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Dragon Ball FighterZ. I'm happy to see that thing because that wasn't as much of a guaranteed as you'd think, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, game-wise and quality of game-wise, it was an obvious one, but,
Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. Tekken 7, obvious. Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition, obvious. Soul Calibur 6, not as obvious, it seems like.
Yeah, but not obvious.
Mortal Kombat 11, that's pretty obvious. Next one, Samurai Showdown, which is
I don't know Samurai Showdown.
I'm sure you've seen the trailer. It's one of the it's like the Street Fighter 4 style artwork with samurai, obviously.
I might
like it looks pretty cool. It's not even out yet. They actually announced the release window during this thing in a new trailer saying releasing worldwide early summer, so in time for this thing to come out.
It's a pretty big way to release.
Yep.
And go right into EVO.
And the final 9th game, Under Night In-Birth X Latest.
Jeff, there was a game missing in that.
There is a game missing, but before that, I'm just going to say this stuff real quick so I don't forget it. They said which game come which day. Sunday's lineup is Smash, Street Fighter, Tekken 7, and BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. They're going down from 5 games to 4 because it ran really late last year. So they're keeping that. They're trying to make sure that kind of stuff is good. People noted Dragon Ball FighterZ isn't there and BlazBlue is, blah, blah, blah. Dragon Ball is part of the reason I think it ran maybe so late last time. And Dragon Ball is a big game that will add eyes to Saturday along with Mortal Kombat. So let's come to that. But yeah, Dar, you getting at big game missing. Super Smash Bros. Melee is not gonna
finally dead.
It's not dead as much. Yeah, we like the joke.
I'm joking.
But when you say that, some Evo fans hate that. Very seriously.
No, it's obviously not dead. Melee. I mean, Melee. If let's be clear, if Melee was here, it would once again be the most viewed game.
Yeah, or I don't think it's been the most viewed game for
I thought it was the most viewed.
I don't think it. I don't know.
I could have sworn it was, but maybe I'm wrong. It's at least
at the very least, it's up there. I think Dragon Ball was last year, for example.
It's at least up there. It's definitely in the top like few of the list. All right, either way, Melee is very popular and it's gonna live forever. But I'm gonna be clear where I'm coming from. I am someone who watches like a handful of Evo matches, usually after the fact. Like I am not a big like.
If I'm like chilling around, I'll see if it's games I'm interested in. I'll watch like the finals, what these are.
Yeah, but like neither me and you are like paying it. We're not like the Evo guys paying attention all the time or whatever. So take everything we say kind of with a grain of salt. But like we're not the people that are necessarily being targeted with Evo. But from my perspective, like outside looking in, I think it's fine to.
I think it's time
to move on. I mean, like every other game series, they retire the old one and put new ones on.
Yeah, and there are a bunch of Melee fans like, oh, but it's different for this. Like, is it? I mean,
it's different in popularity. Like Melee is one of the few that just has such a dedicated scene and continues to like get those numbers. But for all we know, if Marvel vs. Capcom had stayed there forever and ever and ever, maybe it would also get the same Melee numbers. Like I don't know, but
yeah, I think it's one of those things Melee fans may take this a little too harshly, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, and they did a little memoriam thing for Melee because obviously it's been a mainstay and everything. Some Melee fans did not take that well. They took that as a big middle finger. And like, that's. I think you guys are taking the wrong way.
It'll be there, just not on the main stage. Obviously, they'll still be there, but. Yeah, I mean, like, I get it. It's rough, but I also think there's such a like limited spots at Evo.
Honestly, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Just kind of as far as that, no other series gets 2 games there, and there are plenty of fighting games that And
it's
like Under Night, In Birth, X Latest, or I was gonna call it Under Night, is what people are blaming for taking the spot because it was the last one announced. But
it doesn't exactly work that way, but
I agree. But
but
I know it's kind of a thing of it was actually kind of nice to see this game because I have heard about some. This was a game that it's kind of like Melee in a way. Its fans were keeping it alive and everything, so it's kind of nice that a game like this is getting recognition.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of sucks that like on the limited list, there's always 2 Smash Bros. There.
Yeah, and the fact that like last year, they had less games than this, I think. They had at least 1 less, and 2 of them were Smash.
And it's like, Evo was going to do this eventually. They've wanted to do this for a while. This was going to happen eventually. And if you don't do it now, like the first year that Ultimate's out, it's going to make it so much harder to do it in the future. Okay, if you do it next year, they're going to be like, well, you had both of them there last year. Why didn't you have this one? I mean, like, and obviously Ultimate is not, like, equal to Melee. Like, they're obviously different games and everything, but I think Ultimate is definitely a lot closer to what you would want in something like this than Smash 4 and definitely more than Brawl.
Plus, I'm sure from the Evo people are like, hey, we don't need CRTVs anymore.
Yeah, it's probably a much easier production.
Make things go smoother. Yeah. So
yeah, I get why people are bummed because Melee is just such a big deal, and Melee has become the identity of Evo. One of the signature things of Evo is Melee.
Yeah. Do you think some people are acting with Melee players are like, Evo be coming back or be coming back begging for Melee comeback or something?
I think this is the end of Melee at Evo probably. Yeah. I mean, maybe they'll have some nostalgic 1 year, like, hey, it's back for 1 year, but I think it's gone from being a mainstay.
It makes it clear that he has the Evo has no intention to bring it back. No. Mr. Wiz has no plans to bring Melee back. So honestly, in a way, it makes looking at the lineup like Melee more appealing just because of how the variety in it.
Yeah.
So, it's really cool. Okay, moving on.
Hard to accept, but I think it's necessary. I think it's time.
Yep. Okay, Darby, we got a couple, I guess, kind of announcement type things.
Please be excited.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was just saying the first one. On the Star Wars show, it was announced that there will be exclusive first look at Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on Saturday, April 13th at Star Wars Celebration. It is not confirmed if gameplay will be shown. I think that's an important thing to note.
Yeah.
They could just be like a CG trailer.
And, I mean, you saw how they announced this game. They're like, hey, Star Wars. You're doing Star Wars, right? Yep. Okay. Back to you. This could be a whole bunch of nothing. But, hey, that's sooner than I honestly expected to see anything for this game.
Yeah, I
So
expected E3 or shortly before to just
Yeah.
kind of get it out there. But yeah, we see this, so we can expect, if anything, at least a big kind of blowout at E3, especially since they don't have Anthem now.
Yeah,
EA
and
doesn't have Anthem.
I mean, at least this is like the first time I can think in a long time that I'll be going into an EA press conference like with a game in mind that I'm interested in.
Well, and at
seeing.
least you might know ahead of time how interested you should be,
Yeah,
because you'll
yeah,
actually get a first look.
yeah. We'll see. I definitely
Hopefully,
think
they at least show a CGI thing, because they're obviously going to show that. At least show some gameplay type stuff. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I want some, even a little gameplay, but we know really not much at all about the game. So even if it's telling me what the story direction is, I'm fine with that. Because we've talked about it a lot of time. I do think that even with all of EA's blunders with Star Wars, I do think this is one of the ones that has a better chance.
And
Respawn
coming off Apex, yeah.
even though I think those are probably two
Yeah.
different teams.
But here's the main thing. We didn't play Titanfall and Titanfall 2, but from what we heard, gameplay, great.
Yes.
There might have been some things people had issues with. More so with the first game not having a story. People
Yeah.
seem to be
People
really
didn't really have
happy
any-
with 2.
Yeah,
it didn't sell
right,
as well.
Right.
And obviously Apex has great gameplay. So at least from a gameplay perspective, you should expect great things, which I'm sure is very exciting to you.
I'm never gonna be expecting great things.
Okay.
I'll be kind of hoping for great things.
You have more hope than
Yes.
You have more hope that it's more hope because it's Respawn than you would if it was any other EA developer.
Yes.
That's safe to say.
But also, BioWare is a really good developer. They just put out a subpar game because they rushed to do so.
Hey, Darby. They put up 2 subpar games in a row. And depending who you ask, 3 with Dragon Age.
Oh, that's a bad game.
So, depending who you ask, it's 3 games in a row. It's time to move on.
To be fair, I don't like BioWare games. I don't like Mass Effect either, so I'm not very good.
Okay, moving on to the next one.
But games I am expecting great things. A game I am expecting great
simple
things
to the
from.
point. Cyberpunk's 2077's Twitter page posted they would be at E3. They'll probably be at Microsoft's thing, because where else would they be?
Get hype, son.
We'll probably get something good and juicy there. No, Darby.
I want to go back and watch that 40-minute thing just to make myself happy and hyped again.
Darby, maybe we should just sit down and watch it closer to E3 and get hyped.
We should.
But
so good.
What else say? So Darby,
I just like see. I don't know. Cyberpunk is the game right now that I just like.
You won't.
I lie in bed thinking about it at times. I'm like, oh, I want to play that game.
Yeah.
I just think about The Witcher, and then I think about the Cyberpunk world.
Okay, so Darby, here's the thing that people have kind of been talking about mainly for this thing. About what we'll be seeing. Do you think that we'll be getting a release date / window? Maybe even a year. Do you think we'll get like at least a 2020?
Yeah, I think so.
I think the reason people bring that's more
but
Cyberpunk's a game. It feels weird. Like we saw an hour of gameplay. They went beyond what a lot of people do.
mm-hmm.
Even for games that are coming out sooner. But at the same time, it's like this game could still come out.
And CD Projekt takes their time so much with these games. I mean, that's part of why. I mean, The Witcher was shown a bunch of different times, and then they would go silent for a long time, and it was shown again, and they would go silent for a long time, for multiple years before it came out. And like I read Jason Schreier's Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, really good book, but he talked about The Witcher 3, and a lot of it was that they honestly they didn't. I feel like a lot of times, like game developers are like kind of pressured into having. We have to have it out by now. Tell the public this date because we have to have it by now. CD Projekt really doesn't seem to work that way. So it's like they don't have a window for you because they don't have a window for themselves either. The game's going to be done when it's done. And it's like, as they're making the game, if they feel like the game needs this other thing, they're going to add this other thing. And like, yeah, in reality, that shifted their release date back several months, but they didn't even have a release date anyway. So to them, it's just making the game.
Yeah.
Which I think is very healthy, and obviously they're able to do that because they made a shit ton of money on The Witcher.
Yep.
And I think the game's going to be better for it. So I could see them showing a whole heck of a lot where it seems like, holy shit, this game is like really far along, and then they still say nothing about date because they don't really seem to do that much.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I'm conflicted on... Well, as far as what I want type thing.
Yeah.
On one hand, I'd like this game sooner, but on the other hand, I'm not against if they're coming out next year, this not coming out until next gen hardware and be cross gen.
Yeah.
And then we just play it on the better thing.
Yeah. I mean, definitely if it's cross-gen, I will get it on the PS5.
Because I feel like at this point, I think we kind of discussed it, but I feel like especially since we're doing this, we're more likely to jump on the PS5 right away.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah,
well, just in general, this part of our life.
And at the start of the PS4, I wasn't playing a whole lot of games. I was only just recently getting started back playing a lot of games again. So I got a PS4 like a year late or something. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be doing that this time. Oh boy, Cyberpunk, Jeff.
Yep. Need it
in my veins.
Indeed. Okay, next kind of... This one's a little different. This one's a little more... We might be reaching a little bit. Who knows? But screw it. Gearbox Software will host a panel/showing thing at PAX East on March 28th and promise never-before-seen reveals. Is it time for Borderlands 3?
No.
No?
No.
Oh.
Not at PAX East.
Well, here's also... Well, I mean, they got to show something there. They got nothing.
People do panels and they just talk to people
panels
who are...
was the wording I did because I had no other word for it. Anything they say is a panel.
How much are they like promoting this? How much are they like hyping this up?
I mean, they posted on Twitter at the very... I don't know.
Yeah.
But here's also...
I'm just saying, just because you have a panel doesn't mean you have something to show. A panel can just be talking to game developers about interesting things.
But, Darby, do you want to hear a juicy rumor?
Yes.
Always. Apparently, some... journalists / influencers let it slip that they've been invited to go see Borderlands 3 this upcoming week.
I mean, Borderlands 3 absolutely exists, and it's obviously been worked on for a while. So, like, yeah,
that's
Borderlands 3 could be any time now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Borderlands 3 is not going to be announced soon. I
Yeah.
just don't see PAX East being the place. But
I don't see why not. This is like
that's not normally where games, especially games of this caliber, are announced.
I mean, here's honestly the thing. Well, I think this could be a thing. Borderlands, I feel like feels like to me a game. It could just be straight up announced at E3. I feel like we'll know about it by E3 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that means if they don't show, I feel like this is a game that will be shown off before E3.
Yeah, I can see that.
But if they do that, odds are they just have dropped it out of nowhere. I don't see what's the difference between showing it at a panel with fans, get that crazy reaction thing, and then just drop it normally.
I agree with you. It's just not how things normally work. I'm telling you what I'm predicting. Like, I think it would be great. It would be amazing for that PAX East panel. I'm just like tempering my expectations. Like, I do think that this game's just going to kind of drop one day. That's just how this normally works. So.
Oh, who knows? Who knows? They might drop it beforehand and be like, "Hey, now our PAX thing's about."
The panel's a lot bigger of a deal now.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next thing. Okay, this comes from Coliseum from IGN. Director Tetsuya Nomura has confirmed that both free and paid DLCs in the work for Kingdom Hearts 3. An interview with Japanese publication Dengeki Online, Nomura revealed that free DLC would likely come to the game as incremental updates as they are completed, and paid DLC would be larger and possibly grouped together to be released before the end of 2019. Hype. One such free update may include a critical mode difficulty level, which a lot of people want. Paid DLC would likely expand the story, potentially filling in details on characters that perhaps weren't fully explored in the main game. And I added this part because it was a spoiler thing. Nomura mentioned a particular character by name whose story could be further explained by DLC.
Darth Vader.
Yeah, Darth Vader. He's in the secret movie, guys. Spoilers.
Kills Mickey.
So yeah, this is exciting. I will obviously be interested in whatever DLC and whatever stuff they do. I'd be interested in potentially replaying it at some point with the critical mode.
This is like Kingdom Hearts 2 was definitely kind of before DLC, right? So like,
so what they did there is re-release the game in the final mix mode.
So what was the DLC content like for? What was that?
New bosses and stuff. The critical mode and just kind of stuff like that. I don't think there's anything crazy like new worlds.
You think they're gonna do new worlds with the paid DLC?
They could. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I feel like, especially if they got to work with Disney. I feel like it's too much for less than a year. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
Oh, it'd be great.
Yeah. Not one of those things I expect. I expect, if anything, it will be a story based on, characters, Kingdom Hearts characters, like the original characters. Maybe going around doing stuff.
Would you need it to be like a story-based thing for you to feel like you want to spend money on it? Like if it's just like a new mode or something?
I guess it depends on what that mode was. If it's story, would be in 100%. Like,
yeah.
No questions asked. So yeah.
But if it's like here's super hard mode,
Well, that'd be the free thing. I don't have to pay for that.
yeah.
Luckily, they kind of said for the free thing, critical mode would be among that.
Nice.
If they made you pay for a difficulty mode, I know people have done it before. That'd be dumb.
We've done it before.
Okay, so let's go talk on something you were definitely more interested in, Darby.
Have some personal
Yeah.
experience with.
Let's got some Hope Corrigan and Michael Domenico from IGN. The latest hero added to Blizzard's Overwatch roster, Baptiste, has been revealed. According to the
Just
most...
realized you didn't need to credit IGN for this. This is just the patch notes.
Eh.
Get out of here, IGN. We don't need you.
Yeah, I took their wording for it, so... according to the most recent patch notes, Baptiste has the following abilities. Biotic Launcher fires a 3-round burst that rewards accuracy and recoil control with significant damage output. Alternate Fire throws grenades that heal allies near point of impact. Regenerative Burst activates an intense surge that heals Baptiste and his allies over time. Immortality Field. Baptiste can create an immortality field that prevents him and his allies from dying. Exo Boots, a passive ability. The Exo Boots allow Baptiste to jump over obstacles, and I guess his ultimate, Amplification Matrix. Baptiste's ultimate ability allows him to deploy Amplification Matrix that doubles the damage and healing effects of friendly projectiles.
Jeff, this dude rocks. Like, he's awesome. I love him. Because I'm a Mercy main, like Mercy way more than anything else. And then if I'm not playing Mercy, I'm most often playing Soldier. And then after that, Sombra. Those are like the only 3 characters I'm even remotely decent at. But this is like an awesome mix. I mean, he's healer DPS mix, which is not something I really knew I like really wanted. But like that is my 2 play styles. I don't do tank. I hate tank. I hate playing tank. So this is the one thing. Like the reason why I love Mercy over other healers is I just like that she is very direct healing. Like I point the staff at you, you're healed. Him, he's healed. Her, she's healed. I don't really like I don't like Lucio and some of the other ones that's way more passive healing. It just doesn't click with me nearly as much. So that's what, like, this guy is very much kind of the Mercy, very direct healing, because you basically, like, I'm playing on PC, so it's like the left click is the shooting normal, right click is launching these grenade things, and you get a lot of them, and it's just immediate heal, and it's splash damage. So like I can shoot it into a group of allies. I don't have to be accurate, which is also why I can't play Ana, because I'm not accurate, nearly accurate enough yet.
Same.
You can just launch it and it heals everyone, and you can do it from a really far distance. Like someone could be like really far away, and you like lob it over to them and hit them, and it heals them. And he obviously doesn't do as much damage as like a soldier or someone else, but he does enough to where I feel like I'm actually contributing to the damage in the team. And man, that immortality field and amplification are going to completely change this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say that about a bunch of characters, whether it be in like this or fighting games or whatever, when they're first announced, when you just kind of see them. But this definitely screams a character that we kind of be a necessity, at least for a while.
Or
at least beyond most team comps. Like I assume he's going to be taking over the competitive scene once he is available to use. I guess the next part of the season. Yeah,
in stage 2. In the Overwatch League right now, like the meta is 3 tank, 3 support, and he fits really good with that.
Oh yeah,
because I mean, like the tanks are already it's already hard to kill them, and then when he's putting these things down. It's gonna be even crazier, and I'll be sitting there. It was really satisfying. Like, I'm playing on the PTR, so it's like I was almost all Baptiste, so it's kind of like not a real game. It's kind of chaos.
I want to try out the new character. It's fine.
Yeah, but people would choose Doomfist because it was just he could just run around and easily kill everyone. Everyone's Baptiste. They have like low health and all this, but it was really satisfying. I would hear Doomfist start his ultimate, and the like red ring would be around me, like he's about to come down on me, and then I would throw the immortality shield, so I stay alive, and then I just headshot him and kill him. It's like, yeah, you're gonna make so many people waste their ults with it, and it's really cool.
Okay, question, because I've been seeing like real gameplay. I just saw the trailer with it. Something I'm not really sure about. I can't remember. When you fire regular bullets, is it like with, I guess, Ana, when you shoot your teammates, they heal them? Is that a thing?
Well, you shoot them with not the regular bullets. It's 2 different bullets. Like it's 2. I don't know what it's going to be on console exactly, but like to me, like I'm using my primary fire only damages, and then the secondary only heals. So you're like, I mean, you can do them both back and forth.
Okay, so the two. Just to make sure I got it. So there are two ways to fire, and then there are also the grenades.
No.
Or the alternate fire is grenades.
It is the grenades. Yeah. So there's two total.
Just want to double check.
Yeah. Two total.
Yeah.
One's damage, one's healing. Yeah. So I mean, but it's really easy to flip back and forth. It's
it's probably going to be like a left trigger, right trigger thing.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I haven't really paid attention. I guess when I press reload, I think it reloads both. I don't know. I haven't actually looked at how the the countdown, if there's two different counters on them, or if they're taking from the same. I need to look at that because I just haven't thought about it. I've just gone.
I can't remember. Would it be this week that it'd be up on console potentially? I can never remember how long it takes.
It's not always the same. It's kind of whenever they're done messing with them. No. But I think it's usually like a week to a week and a half.
Okay. I'm excited to give him.
So it shouldn't be.
It seems like a character I could be in, kind of like in a way as a Zenyatta type role.
I think you would like him, and he's like I said, and you can definitely there was what I loved so much about it is I was like shooting and I was playing like completely DPS, but then we started to take a lot of damage, so I just completely shifted over and started healing. So it's like I'm constantly healing. I'm only healing right now. Okay, we're back up to health. Now let's attack. So I can go right back and forth.
Well, it'd also be good if I get used to using him, because normally what I have to do is, as you know, mainly focus on Zenyatta and maybe Moira or something for healing. And as far as tank goes, Hammond or Diva or something. You know, if I can add him to my lineup of heroes I'm good with.
Yeah.
Be different. Then also I know Alex likes to use Zenyatta.
So
we wanted to. He could.
Yeah. I think this guy seems like really good for me and you. Both me and you. I think he's going to be a really good one. And I just props to Overwatch just for, I feel like every time they announce a new hero, it's such a clever design that I wouldn't have really thought of. And you could say the same for Sombra, Brigitte, all of them. Their own moveset is really interesting and and innovative and unique, but also there's a whole nother element of how this new character is going to change the way you play other characters. And just that's what's so fascinating to me.
What a complaint I've heard, I don't know if it's because people got to play with it more, this opinion has changed. I haven't followed it. People wanted the new hero to be the goats killer. This seems to not be the case.
Yeah, I think Alex said
this enhances goats.
You were supposed to kill goats, not join them.
You're supposed to kill goats, not make it potentially more viable.
Hey, long live the goat, man.
Long live Tom Brady.
That's what people are saying. Overwatch should people were suggesting that Overwatch should lock the competitive lock the Overwatch League into two DPS, 2 tank, 2 healer. That's so boring to me. It's no.
The only locking thing I'm okay with is max one type of hero per team. It's only one him.
Oh yeah. We don't need to go back to the dark times when it was
no.
But that completely takes the uniqueness and the strategy of and the weird comps that people run. That would be so just bland
and also
boring.
Something that I just kind of thought, I'm sure you thought of it, and the reason why they don't do it. It would suck if someone on your team you die or whatever, one of the people in the Overwatch League die because they change up their comp, that you can't change to something to go against that just because.
We already have 2.
Yeah, we have 2, and I can't do it because they're out there fighting and they can't leave.
Well, if they made that change, it would legitimately, there'd be a lot of teams where it's all right, well, we have to cut you because we already have 2. We already have enough of these. Dumb. It's I mean, it's not going to actually happen, and I mean, because I think there's and they're wrong. I'm very new to paying attention to the Overwatch League, but I am actually really enjoying it. I just watched 3 matches last night just while I was doing other things. I'm really into it, but I'm obviously new. But I really think people are overreacting a little bit to just. I mean, right now the meta is this 3-3, this goats 3 tank 3 support. And that is you need to be able to run that to be good, but that's going to change. There's going to be counters to this. People are going to figure out, they're already starting to add different things in there and figure it out.
Because when new character came out, there were a bunch of patch stuff. That might change some of it.
Yeah, and they buffed every DPS, every single one of them. So that's going to help. And just, I think last year from everything I saw, it was dive for half the year.
Yeah.
It's and that went away. I mean, it's going to evolve. It's going to evolve. So people are, I think, it's too early to freak out about that. And I'm having a blast watching it. It's fun watching these big tank balls of tank characters just kind of going out, because when both of them are tank, it's you don't really have an advantage. It's interesting.
Also, on a more serious note, something people need to stop doing is harassing voice actors.
Oh God, yeah.
Did you see her
you
video
and Alex,
from, like,
you and Alex
yesterday?
talked about it now.
It's sad.
Yeah, I know people. Yeah, people were harassing Brigida's voice actors.
Yeah, so now she made a video about it.
Yep, that like you just know you're being an asshole at that point.
Luckily, she said it's by far more supportive than not, but she's like 21 or something, so she's young and new to this. So the negative comments get to her, and they're
I understand that. Yeah, the voice actors have nothing to do with this. It's stupid.
I mean, and it wouldn't be fine to attack the developers either, the way these people have, but you know. Okay, moving on. Got Mortal Kombat news, Darby. Johnny Cage has officially been revealed as part of the roster. Finally, my man's back.
He's back. No surprise, but his fatality was amazing.
Darby, I got juicy leaks. The roster has seemed to completely have leaked.
Oh.
Interesting. I don't know if you want to go over that here or not, or what.
I mean, do you think we should save it to? Do you think we should?
Part of me is like, people may want the surprise to it.
Yeah,
they've probably seen it, but we can talk about it afterwards at least.
Okay, we'll talk about it afterwards. I mean, I think the game is coming out soon enough that we maybe don't need to. Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay, so that's happening. Johnny Cage is back. Okay, I guess we can talk about the character.
Tell me one thing. Am I going to be happy, Jeff?
Huh? You might be. And I really mean a hard maybe. Like, so there's some things that are not.
I mean, specifically, am I going to be happy?
Yeah, I'm serious when I say maybe. I'm not being cute when I say that.
Okay.
But let's talk about Johnny Cage at least a little bit from his moveset. I love they're going more in on the whole fact that he's an actor.
Yeah,
like more than
leading
ever.
into it.
Yeah, just him having a camera or whatever to stun them.
Beating them with his best actor award.
Yep. Throwing his sunglasses at them, getting his stunt double with a badly drawn Johnny on his chest to grab him.
It was really good.
Yeah,
it was a really good
and
trailer.
that fatality is
the best in Mortal Kombat history is how I described it. It's so good. Yeah, we won't spoil it. Just go watch it. It's so good. Yeah. It's so good.
I'm happy he's back.
His moveset looks very Johnny Cage, but it looks like it also has some of his like X variations in it, as well, and it looks cool. Like he looks, So this game just looks awesome, and I didn't talk about it here. I went back and played some of X just because I was in the mood. Man, that is a damn good game.
It is.
I love that game. I forget how much I love that game when I go back to it. It's just like everything about it. The art style still just looks amazing. The variations are so cool. Just how everyone has these like slightly different things that can really change how you go. And I just like. I mean, like, everyone probably has these memories more for 9, which I did play 9 a lot, but X was that freshman year in college when we played it every single day. I just have so much... I forget how much nostalgia I have for that game. That's a good-ass game. I'm definitely excited for it.
Yeah, to help me get caught up or remember the story some or whatever, I think Maximilian Dude has been posting, like, he's been replaying through the story and posting it. I might just kind of casually just watch him do it to help me remember the story.
Oh, yeah, to be clear, I don't remember a single thing from the story. I'm just talking about the game.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on. Okay, this is maybe a quick little thing, potentially. Capcom has announced some ports this week. They went a little crazy with that, It was like, what's it going to be announcing the ports?
Ports left and right. You get a port.
Well, they didn't announce ports. They announced the port release date. Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1 Remake, and Resident Evil 4 HD will all arrive on Switch on May 21st, which, cool. The main thing people are not happy with is the fact they're $30 each. Yeah, that's a bummer. I'm interested in getting 4. I already got 1, so there's absolutely no reason for me to get that again, especially at that price. My plan is to play 1 at some point, probably soon, then play 2, and then I might just skip 3 because that's probably going to be a remake. And go.
I have 4 on PlayStation now. I've contemplated playing it.
That'd be a good way to do it.
Saw it there. I mean, if I do it, that'll be how I do it. Yeah,
that is fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. Now, something I'm actually kind of excited about and probably will do: Ace Attorney Trilogy will arrive on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and Steam on April 9th. So the first 3 games, I think it's also $30, but it's 3 games.
Seems like a Jacob game. Is Jacob like?
I don't know.
Seems like a Jacob game.
But this is definitely a game that, it's kind of like a me game too. It's definitely kind of game I'd be into. I've always been interested in, and because it's Ace Attorney. It's from a quality standpoint, as far as the game is, not like it's that much a change between the first one and the later ones. I mean, in a bad way.
Yeah, I'm sure, especially visually, it's gonna.
Yeah, exactly, and all these have voice acting and all that kind of stuff. So
I wouldn't expect it to have like full voice acting.
Yeah, I don't know if it's completely full, but I know that I saw they at least one of these games have it and all that stuff. I think that's part of.
I thought the only voice acting was objection.
It might be, I don't know. But I'm probably gonna get these at some point on the Switch. Obviously, I've always been interested in these games. This is, I think, a good time for me to do it. Get into this series, which screams me. It's pretty much a more lighthearted and less gruesome Danganronpa.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, yeah.
There's murder in this, but they're not teenagers killing each other.
Did you ever play the last Danganronpa?
I did not. I'm probably, honestly, like I said, I got to make a list of games in my backlog I play. That's probably
up there.
It's probably one of the first ones I go after because I really want to play it.
And you gotta avoid them spoilers, man.
That's part of it. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. Again, we're staying with that there Capcom Derby. Resident Evil 2 has shipped over 4 million copies worldwide. Very good. And it's only been out for a little over a month. While the series as a whole has now sold over 90 million copies.
I mean, it's a lot of games and a lot of remakes of games and reports of games and everything. Yeah. But yeah.
Obviously, the most main reason to put this in here is the 2.
Yes. Which, that is pretty good.
Yep.
Now, how long do we have until Capcom comes out and says it was a disappointment?
Let's see. This quarter ends in March, so I guess by May.
Okay. All right. We'll track that and see if that's accurate.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. That's a very good sale, so I'm excited to play it. I need to. Jacob, I know you usually listen to these. Let me know if you're okay with me potentially borrowing your copy once you're completely done with it. Up to.
And hell, maybe I'll borrow it after Jeff's done with it.
Yeah.
Only if you're okay with it, though.
Yep.
If not, we'll have to steal it.
Indeed. That are a game you have played.
This one excites me. Surprising.
Horizon Zero Dawn is now 2 years old, Darby.
Yeah, which also...
And now the Switch is going to be 2 years old Sunday.
Screw that, man.
Yeah. And they announced along with...
you know what else is kind of crazy? In, I think, 20 days, our podcast will be 2 years old. Apparently, our first episode posted on March 20th, I think.
Damn. Yeah. But along with, we're celebrating their 2-year anniversary or whatever, they announced that Horizon Zero Dawn has sold well over 10 million copies.
That's a lot, Jeff.
That is a lot for a new IP. And
brand new IP from a developer that people don't really know that well and definitely don't know for this type of game.
And you know what, Dari? This game destroyed two narratives people were going. Single-player games don't sell, and or games with women main characters don't sell.
Yep. No.
Hell yeah.
This is like, I feel like Horizon could have sold a lot less than this, and we still would have been like, yeah, it was a good success for what it was.
We were like, it was a success when it was half this.
Yeah. And those first few months when it was like 2 million, 3 million or something.
Or something like that. On this, they were set up for they had a timetable thing, but it was something.
I think I remember getting to 5 million sometime.
I think it was like 2.5 million after a month or something like that.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing 5 million at some point. Like, now they doubled that.
I think this is a rough thing. I think it was like 2.5 million or something like that after a month. Maybe 5 million after. It was like 4 or 5 million after 6 months.
Something like that, yeah.
7-ish million after a year.
But the fact that, like, I didn't know that Horizon was, like, still selling. I didn't know the legs that Horizon had.
Well, here's the thing. It's been on sale a lot. I mean, I got it.
And I know, I at least tell a lot of people, like, in kind of funny being like, I got my PS4 Pro and Horizon,
Yeah.
That was...
I know, I mean, again, it's on sale, so people that have been interested in the complete edition I got. I think for like $12.
Yeah. I love Horizon Zero Dawn. I definitely do. It's one of these games that, like, I think the second game is going to be phenomenal. Like, I think Horizon Zero Dawn is an amazing game that definitely has some, like, just design problems. Like, not in problems is just, like, nitpicking. It's a great game, but it definitely has, like, oh, this thing is a little repetitive. This story, like, some of the side stories are definitely not as strong as like some other
now that
ones like this.
Now that Gorilla got their feet wet with an open world game with this in this world, I agree with you. Like with Spider-Man, I think the next games for those should come out and be crazy.
I think both of those series are going to be, when we look back at them, we're going to talk about the second one. But we're definitely going to talk about the first one too. But it's going to be like we're going to say for both of those that's when they hit.
Horizon's also on that short list of games I need to.
You need to play. It's really good. Still today the most impressive like snow physics I've ever seen.
Okay,
that still just blew my mind.
I'm gonna have a little goal thing for next week. It's nothing major. I'm going to come back with a list of my backlog games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which number. They're like, these are the ones I'm going to try to play and focus on.
You know, we both bought Final Fantasy 15. Where does that land on that backlog
that's
list?
down.
Pretty far down, I have to imagine.
And that's just partly because of the length.
Yeah.
Like, even Horizon's not the longest game ever.
Yeah, I would be disappointed if you played Final Fantasy 15 before Persona 5. I would be a little disappointed.
I'm waiting for the Switch.
I mean, you do you, but I would be a little disappointed.
I understand. No, I got plenty of games for Final Fantasy 15, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. I just threw that one out there.
But, so, yeah. I'll come up with a list with some backlog games I want to make sure I want to get. I'll have to look through all that. But, yeah. It's going to be crazy next gen, and I guess some people might find it kind of maybe boring in some ways. The fact of 3 of the games that we'll be expecting and just waiting on and looking forward to are going to be sequels to God of War, Spider-Man, and Horizon, but that's the way it is.
They're good, man.
They're good. They're good. I mean, I'm not going to speak for Horizon. At least God of War, Spider-Man, obviously set up for sequels. I've heard Horizon's similar.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Okay.
And Horizon is this is just the second Horizon game. It's not like it's just, crazy.
Okay, so for these last little things, I'm just, Darby, for the sake of time codes, I'm just going to put them all into one thing. Yeah. And we just kind of go for these.
We're just going to blow through
this is it. Okay. We got the PlayStation Plus, Xbox Games with Gold, and Twitch Prime games for the month of March. For PlayStation Plus, they did what they said they're going to do, Darby. They dropped the PS3 and Vita games. And instead of adding games, like some people hoped, they're just going to have the 2 PS4 games.
Yeah.
So the 2 PS4 games for this month are Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered and The Witness. Witness is cool.
Yes, that's a very, very.
That's
very
one
cool.
I'm going to try to definitely make sure I grab.
That's what I mean. Like, it's so like hardcore, not for me, but I respect it so much. It's just like
it's one of those games I don't know.
I get annoyed with like Tomb Raider puzzles when I can't figure them out within 2 minutes. I would like lose my mind trying to play The Witness.
I don't know if I'll get to the game, but the fact, if I can just grab it and have it, I'm going to, because it's a game I'd like to get to at some point, but probably won't. But.
Yeah, definitely. I want Ginny to play that. Ginny would love The Witness. Too bad it's PS4, not Xbox One.
That could be a game. Just go over and kind of play it together.
Yeah. Or I would be like, you play this. I'll try to.
I'll watch and help if I can.
If I can, probably can't.
Yeah. Xbox Game with Gold. We had Adventure Time, Pirates of the Enchiridium?
Enchilada.
Pirates of the Enchilada. There's definitely not it, but that's what we're only with for the Xbox One. Plants vs. Zombies, God of Warfare 2 for the Xbox One. Star Wars Republic Commando, Xbox 360, but also on Xbox One via backwards compatibility. And honestly, the most exciting game that I'd be more interested in, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Xbox 360 with Xbox One backwards compatibility.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Revengeance.
Yep.
Tried to play that game. I was really, real bad at the parry system. That's not why I stopped. I just kind of ended up doing other things, but I was like super duper bad at parrying for some reason.
Yeah. And Twitch Prime games. Star Vikings Forever, Darby.
Wakanda Forever.
The King's Bird. I think it's one of the things. It looked like it might have been an RC game if I remember right. Like it could be cool. Snake Pass.
Snake Pass. Remember Snake Pass?
I think that's a good game, man. And Kabounce. Honestly, from what the screen I saw, it sounds like about what you would expect.
Jeff, I have to pee so bad. Can we end the podcast?
I mean, that's the last thing. Winner, Darby. Which one's the winner?
Either Xbox or PlayStation. PlayStation.
It's kind of unfortunate with Twitch Prime because we don't really know the other games.
You know what? Revengeance
forever.
You're welcome, Jacob.
Okay, so that was all the news, Darby.
All right. Well,
now something to our main top now.
Strap in for an hour of Knack talk.
Knack, baby.
Knack and Colonel Sanders.
Well, Knack should happen, guys. We're going to talk about what it can happen, what should happen,
why
it should exist.
What we want from Knack 3.
Yeah.
We had Ice Knack. Now we need Lice Knack.
Yeah. Lice is nice.
Lice is nice. Thank you guys so much. Watch the Bro Trio episode. It was really good.
And look forward, because we're recording it tomorrow, finally, continuation of our Pokemon Emerald Nuzlocke.
It lives. It's going to continue.
Yep.
Also, I made an intro video for the whole YouTube channel. I'm pretty proud of it, so go
good.
Go tell me what you think about it. All right. Bye.
Bye.